podcast. Today, I'm going to be joined by Tommie Haynes. Tommie is with AllProWebTools. We're going to be talking about all things marketing, websites, anything that has to do with, that side of the game for your staffing and recruiting business. So Tommie, thank you for joining me here today.
Absolutely. Thank you so much for having me, Don. I really appreciate you having me on the show and appreciate the time. I'm looking forward to our conversation today.
Yeah, you as well, man. The pressure's on. We're expecting a lot of value out of you today, man. No.
Hey, that's okay. You can only make diamonds with pressure, right?
Yeah. So for those of you that are here with us live, give us a little like, give us a little love, let us know that you can hear us and that we are good to go. Like I said, Tommie and I are going to be talking about some marketing and lead generation things. But Tommie, we just talked about it, but why don't you share with everybody what part of the world are you in right now and what's going on there?
Oh my gosh, yes. I'm located in Lakeland, Florida, and to be honest with you, I don't even understand most of the time what's happening here because it's a little bit of everything. Everyone says it's the sunshine state, but here your wardrobe needs to include a raincoat, an umbrella, needs to include some bathing suits, a sweater, all at the same time because the weather is that unpredictable. It's very disrespectful, to be honest.
If you don't like the weather, wait a couple minutes, huh?
Exactly.
Nice.
Exactly.
Nice. So Tommie, how did you get into, how'd you get involved with AllProWebTools?
So that's a great question because with AllProWebTools, I was looking for something that I can kind of stretch my wings. And I felt like my previous position, I wasn't able to help people the way I wanted to, right? It was corporate. I had to follow policy exactly how it had to be. And sometimes I didn't agree with the policy. And I felt like some of the customers weren't being helped, right? We could have definitely done more, I should say.
Right.
So once you reach that kind of glass ceiling, it's just like, okay, you can't go anymore. So I was like, okay, I'm done. I'm over it. So I found AllProWebTools and oh my gosh, I have been here ever since. I love it. I love the support. I love how we take care of everyone that we are supporting. That's one of my main reasons, if not the main reason why I'm still here, because the way we offer our support is so genuine and so personable. Like you would think that you have your own specific account manager. Like this is your company, basically, the way we do our support. So that's how I have to talk for AllProWebTools.
Yeah, that's important if you're selling something to make sure you got something to back it up. So
yeah, absolutely.
That's great. So give us the high level on AllProWebTools. I know you guys aren't a specific tool for just staffing and recruiting, but give us the high level on what the tool, kind of what you guys have to offer and what the goal of the tool is.
Absolutely, yeah. I'll also include a little bit of background of the company as well, because we first initially started off 11 years ago as a web hosting company. And from there, 11 years, we've been getting feedback, suggestions, and even some feature requests. And 11 years, we have added so many different tools for kind of a span of audience that, to be honest with you, some of the tools we've forgotten that we've added, right? And that's when, with AllProWebTools, it definitely is kind of like a very versatile system. And when we have audience, I can't even talk right now. I'm going crazy. Hold on. All right. So with AllProWebTools, our system definitely helps out a lot of different people. There's really no specific audience that we are looking for because with the tools that we add, this covers a wide span, anywhere from helping recruiters to helping lawyers to helping balloon artists to helping marketers. So if we were to ask, well, who do you help? Who needs help?
Right. Got it. So how did you guys end up, in the staffing and recruiting industry?
Man, let me tell you. So actually, my brother has been doing some recruiting as well. And I noticed a lot of things that he's been doing as far as like some of the email, the cold outreach, emails, phone calls, text message, LinkedIn, all of that. And I was like, well, most of the functionality or most of the things that you're looking for, we can do as well. So I just started doing some research and I started connecting with some recruiters trying to figure out, exactly what it is that they do and what they need. And I found that, hey, for most of the stuff, AllProWebTools does offer those same functionality that you need. Rather than having 4 or 5 different systems to do what you need, why not just have one?
Right. Got it. Got it. So, with you kind of, entering into this market, and obviously you guys, I'm sure, have been into this market for a couple of years now, but where are you seeing the best use of your tool? Where are you seeing your customers getting, specifically in our recruiting industry, where are they getting the most return from the tool?
Most return is with the CRM and the email marketing tool with the outreach. That's where they get the best return, and throughout the research, it has definitely been very successful.
Got it. So built underneath it, and for those of you that are watching with us now, we're going to actually, are we going to show them kind of the back office and what they get with the whole thing? We do a little demo for them, Tommie?
Sure, absolutely.
All right, cool. We'll fire that up here in a minute. We'll get you guys a little demo, but so basically you guys have a CRM, you've got cold email outreach. I know you've got a website builder in there as well.
Yep.
What am I missing that are kind of the highlighted points there?
So other than that, it can also include text message marketing.
Okay.
I've seen some recruiters use that for some of their outreach. So it does have that functionality as well. So as
Perfect.
well as the CRM.
Got it. And you guys don't provide any of the data. Somebody would have to bring data from another party and then incorporate it into your website, correct?
Absolutely. Yep.
Yep. Okay, cool. Cool. Well, why don't we go ahead and pull up, let me make sure that you've got the ability to do that. You should. Why don't we go ahead and share your screen if you can? Does it allow you to do that?
Yep. No, not yet.
So while Tommie's getting that ready, we will, he's going to show you. And I think one of the things as I looked at this the other day that was really exciting is that you actually get a website, pretty cool, easy website builder. And I know that's something that, especially if you're starting out, being able to, get a website off the ground has a pretty quality design for the cost that they offer it's pretty amazing, quite honestly. So we'll be able to share, he'll be able to share that here in a minute.
Yep, it says the host disabled screen sharing.
All right, let me go ahead and make sure I do that. I'm going to make you the host and see what happens.
Oh, yeah. I have the power now.
You have the power. There you go.
All right, perfect. Yep. Awesome. So that looks okay? Looks good?
Yep.
All right, perfect. So I'm going to go ahead and log in here. Feel free, you, Donnie, or anyone that's watching, to use these same logins to this demo. You can actually use this URL. If you want to go check out the system yourself, you can use the same thing. So I'm going to go ahead and I'll spell it out. So I'm going to use Nelson. And then password is going to be all lowercase in this demo as well. So that's what I'm going to use to sign in. Like I said, feel free to do the same as well. So retour, because the whole job security, we don't want to worry about doing it. No, I'm just kidding. And I'm going to take that off. Perfect. So right now, what we're looking at is the main screen of the software. And on this screen here, what you're seeing is everything that will be happening from within your recruiting business or staffing agency. So that includes phone calls coming in and going out when you integrate phone.com. You can also see text messages coming in and coming out, emails coming in and coming out as well. And you'll be able to see this all right here on this main screen, the dashboard, or I like to call the command center. Mm-hmm. And you can also filter out what you want to see. So if you wanted to see just the emails or just the text messages, you can do that here as well.
Nice.
Now,
can you respond to anything on there?
Absolutely. Yep. So if I wanted to respond, let's say I wanted to respond to Brandon, it's been a year, so I think it's okay for me to respond. We've waited long enough to respond. I can either click on his phone number here and you'll see this chat box pop up, And I can say, thank you, Brandon. And not only will I see that in the chat box, but this will also display on the workflow timeline as well.
Yep. Wow, that's cool.
And
so you're all CRM in the specific contacts workflow is all right in front of your face there.
Absolutely. Yep. And to get even more in depth, let's say with Brandon, it's been a year, so I've forgotten. What have we talked about in the Maybe we said this takes us to Brandon's CRM page where it stores all of his information, address, contact info as well. And we can see that Brandon has his own workflow timeline. And what that does is it actually, it also specifies for Brandon where you can see all the information for specifically Brandon. So you don't have to go through a whole timeline like looking through a bunch of emails.
Right.
You can see everything just for Brandon. And if I wanted to, I can also write a note and say, spoke to Brandon yesterday. Forgive my spelling. I'm trying to do this really fast. I can save that note. Perfect. And there we have it. So this is a great tool, especially when it comes for recruiting. I found a lot of recruiters use this when writing notes, especially reaching out to their clients that they've spoken to. They write a note that I spoke to this client. And a great thing about the CRM, you can also integrate your Google Calendar and set up follow-ups as well. And you can use this. Really cool. Yes, I use this all the time now. I don't know how I would live without this in the calendar.
Right.
So with this, you can choose a date and time, and we can come here, and this will actually give us the option to, if we wanted to post it to our own calendar or whoever's calendar is actually connected to the software. So I can choose another calendar as well, and it'll give me not only their free time during that day, but it'll also show me if there's any double appointments, so that way I don't schedule on the same time.
Got it.
Now, on top of that here, one of the great uses, as we mentioned about the email marketing, just to speak about that for a second, because one thing that I've noticed is that a lot of new people, especially when starting your company, right? You get the domain, you get the LLC, you get all that taken care of, but we forget about the importance of protecting and watching our domain health as well, right? When sending emails, especially cold outreach, right? If we send too many, if we get anywhere between 1 to 2 spam, actually 1 spam complaint, right, for every 1,000 emails that you send, that can put your domain at risk of being on the blacklist, which can further hinder you from sending emails. And with that blacklist, some people, I like to also recommend that with the blacklist, you also have to remember that, let's say for instance, if we're on the blacklist, we can be on the blacklist for just Gmail and not Yahoo, or we can be on the blacklist for all, right? All the email service providers. There's one thing that we definitely take into consideration, especially helping out with the recruiters, knowing that we're going to do a lot of cold email outreach. So we've also implemented a lot of tools to help with that. And one thing we did was when we go to our emails, right, we're going to go here. Where I'm going is where we can actually start building and creating your email templates, right, for your outreach. So I'm going to go to marketing and we're going to go to emails here. Each page is going to show that. So here's where we create all of our emails, as well as we have our list of any existing emails that we want to use. So I'm going to just choose one for, for time purposes. I'm going to be respectful of your time, Donnie. So
do you guys provide templates as a part of your service, or is that something that each customer creates?
No, we do provide templates. I can go to that as well. I guess we can go ahead and create a template here. So in here, we have the basic information, the email name, and the subject line. Now we do have templates here, which those are free to use. You can customize them, change the font, color, pictures. Oh, I'm sorry. However you want, they are free to use. So let's go ahead and let's select, let's do this one, is fine. Perfect. So we have the import template here, again, which we can go through, and if you want to remove this picture, we can change it however we want to. Now, on top of that, I did read a post when you were talking about down here, you were talking about the verbiage in the emails and how important it is to not just capture what's actually in the email body, but that first subject line, right?
Right.
Capturing that. So we also include what's called the preview text, right? So next to that subject line, you have a preview of your first line in your email. What if you can change that, right? To kind of coincide with your subject. And that's what this is here, right? You can have an additional, kind of like a cherry on top to capture that interest when you open your email.
Very cool. Very cool.
And when you're getting ready to prepare your email, again, I know the outreach is to hundreds, maybe even thousands of people at a time. So I don't know about you, but I don't want to go back and send or change 100 or thousands of email names and contact information. So we also include short codes, which definitely comes very, very handy, because when you import the short code, you see something like this. I'm sure you've seen it in probably in a lot of email service providers, right? You see that short code that inserts that information for you. Your email service provider should have this feature, right? This is very important when it comes to setting that, so that way you can personalize that email, right? So moving through here, once we have our email done, looks good, is exactly what we want. Obviously, we want to save that so that way we can use this as a template, a preview of what your email will look like, as well as on the left-hand side here, we have the statistics, the open rates, the unopened rates, the click rates for this specific email.
Got it.
I highly recommend, obviously, looking at this and following this so you can see how your email is doing, right? If the open rate is low, then we either know that either the list that we sent it to, probably not interested, or maybe something in the verbiage, or like you said, Donnie, maybe the subject line needs some tweaking. Right.
What would you guys have the ability to, so this is kind of more like a single send style, like newsletter-ish, is kind of how I put it, because you got that template there. Do you guys have the ability to kind of do drip campaigns?
Absolutely. So let's say with this here, we have our email created, right? Obviously, we have to create the templates before we can add them to the drip campaign. So we can go here to the left, and we're going to go to marketing campaigns here at the top.
Got it.
This is the area where you can start creating as many campaigns as you would like, right? There's no limit on the amount of campaigns that you can create. There's no limit on the amount of contacts that you can insert. There's no limit on the amount of users you can add, right? All that is unlimited. And when you're creating your drip campaign, I'm going to go ahead and create a new one here using that template. So I'm going to create this here, email 26. Now, these here is what's very, very important, especially when you're using a third-party system to import that information, such as contacts, right? You want to group them together in what we call our tags. That puts all your contacts in one area, so that way you can use them to send the one-off email blast or import them into the campaign, which I'll show you here in a second. So let's go ahead. I'm going to choose, I'm just going to choose one for now. And then these here are the triggers of what's going to actually start your campaign. So you can have your campaign started if you have a contact form or a sign-up box or a form on your website. Exactly.
Wonderful.
You can add that to your drip campaign. If you're selling products on your website, you can do a certain product purchase, right? So we're going to go with manual, because that's what most of the recruiters are using, because they're importing that contact list from third party, wherever they're getting it from. So I'm going to hit that plus sign here. Now, once we have deleted, right, we're going to go to the edit actions. Now, this is where this is where the fun begins. This is where you're able to start building out your sequence. And the cool thing about it is that you can insert not just emails, but you can also include text messages right within the sequence as well, without having to build a separate campaign for it. All right. You can also include task, which the system does include a tasking system. So say, for instance, after 2 or 3 emails that you sent, maybe over a week or two, you can have the system automatically create a task for yourself to check on to see, follow up with anything that has things like that, right? Which is really, really cool.
If you have their text messaging information, can you roll that into a drip too automatically?
Absolutely. Absolutely.
Cool. So you got a little cross platform going on. You can go email, text, vice versa. Yep. And then put a note in, make a call. Yep. Okay.
Yep. Exactly. And then the last option here is if you wanted to, when you get down to the end of the campaign, if you just want them to just be removed, you can have them removed from the campaign as well.
Right.
In this instance, we're going to choose, let's go ahead and choose email because that's what. So once we select what type of message that we're sending, we can choose which email from the templates that we've created.
Right.
And that's why we went there first, so that we can create our templates so we can add it to our drip campaign. So I'm going to select the email 26 that we created, and now we choose what time we're sending this email. This is going based off of 24 hours from when you add these people to add your contacts to your campaign, right?
Yep.
So in this case, we're going to choose 10 a.m., which would be tomorrow at 10 a.m., which Saturday?
Yep.
Which we've also had something to add for that as well, but we're going to keep moving. I get really passionate about it. So once we selected the time, then we'll tell the system how long we want it to wait for the next email to go out, which is anywhere from 1 to a year to go out. So we'll choose 145 days, which is probably not a really good campaign, but nevertheless. You're still going to get those 7 to 8 to 10 touches, right? Eventually. Right. So we do add the wait time, and then you see how it starts over. Then you just keep building on top of that. So maybe this time I want to send a text message, and just like how we have email templates, we have text message templates as well. Cool. And I want to send this one. Let's wake them up. Let's send them at 3 o'clock in the morning. Right? Everyone needs to get their day started really early, right? And then we just keep going on, so on and so forth from here.
Yep. Very cool.
That's how you would build out your campaign.
Awesome. Now, so you can start those based off autoresponder. You can start those based off of somebody when a tag is hit or something like that, or a manual input, all of that. So lots of options to start triggers.
Absolutely, absolutely. And one thing, just to kind of co-sign to that, Donnie, is that let's go back to this page here. When we started supporting the recruiters, obviously the system, but just like 11 years ago from web hosting, this is 11 years of suggestions. This is what you're seeing here, right?
Right.
These aren't our ideas. These are ideas from everyone that's using the system.
Right.
And just like everyone, we have recruiters saying, hey, what if we have a campaign? What if someone responds to the campaign? How would they get removed? Obviously, you can manually remove them, but what we did was that can be a lot. If they're sending hundreds, thousands of emails, if they have thousands of contacts, right, you don't want to go to one by one and removing them from the campaign. So what we did is added this feature called reply to email. And what that does is when someone replies to your email from your campaign, the system will automatically remove them from all the campaigns that they're in. So that way now you can start following up with transaction emails.
Right.
And then you can get them on that call as well, which I feel is super important because not only could you have them removed, but think about the possibilities of, okay, so maybe they replied, maybe I can have them once they reply into another campaign, right? I can put them into another campaign, or I can put them in a campaign where instead of emails, cool, they replied, I'm gonna send you a text message now. Right. There's so many possibilities with this. You can even have it search for a specific reply, or you can have it search for a specific subject line. So if they reply to email 1, they go to this campaign. You reply to email 2, and so on and so forth. Right? There's a lot of possibilities for that. And with that, when setting the campaigns, right? Some people don't want to send those emails on the weekends. Right. Because, how much work really gets done on the weekend.
Yeah.
In the recruiter's case, I know a lot. Trust me. I've seen recruiters 3 o'clock. I respect the hustle. I respect it a lot because I've seen recruiters all day, calls, emails, following up with clients, candidates. I mean, it's kudos.
Yeah,
Kudos.
it's a lot. It's a lot.
It's
Yep.
a lot. So what
Yep.
we did was we also added this feature here again to help out. Once I go here to email. So what we did was we added this feature here because, and if they auto reply, like the out of office messages, you don't want them to be removed from the campaign.
Right.
So we added this delay here. So if an email comes in within 5 minutes, which usually auto replies do,
Right.
it won't be removed from the campaign.
Got it.
Then you also added this feature here at the bottom where do not send email campaigns on the weekends. I mean, that's pretty self-explanatory.
Right.
Pretty self-explanatory. So those are some of the things that a lot of our recruiters have been focused on, especially when it comes to the outreach. Now with the website, yes, the website is included at no additional cost. And one thing also about the website, which is really cool, I don't know if we touched base on this, but I'm going to go real quick here. So what I did was the search bar, you can search names, email address, phone numbers. You can even search maybe some contacts in a note that you saved.
Got it.
And it'll pull it up here as well. So I'm going to go to Eric because he's one of the most popular guys I know every single time. So maybe his initials are easy. So maybe he's just an easy guy to get to know. I don't know, but he's just super popular. But one of the great things here was that when someone, right here. So with the campaigns, when someone is in the campaign, and if you did want to reply to them once they reply to you manually, maybe they reply to you on LinkedIn outside of the email, you can come here and remove them straight from here, right? You just click on this, and these are all different campaigns. So you can manage your campaigns for this specific person right from here. Look, I just learned that he liked lobsters. There you go. Now you're in the lobster campaign, and you can start getting emails about lobsters. Right. Now, if we go down, you see that we have all this stuff here on the right-hand side. We have AllPro Drive, we have Dropbox, and Google Drive, which these can be integrated. So on your website that's built within the AllProWebTools, you can actually have your candidates or your clients log into the website and upload documents right to the website, and it will automatically put them right in their CRM. Right?
Wow, that's pretty cool.
Yes, that's, again, I don't know how I would live without it because trying to organize all those documents, move from one folder to another, can be pretty tedious.
Yeah.
And
So you can incorporate that with your autoresponder then?
I'm sorry?
You can incorporate that with your autoresponder then?
What do you mean?
So like if I were to come in and ask for a certain amount of information through like a form, then I could actually ask for like a Google Drive folder for somebody, or if it's an application or something like that, for like a candidate side of things, like it all goes into this contact here.
Oh, yes. Yep. They can upload their resume, cover letter, all right in here, and you can pull it right from here as well.
Got it.
So not only would be in the CRM, but also would be in your Google Drive if you need it as well.
Nice.
And that right there, those are the main things that the uses for recruiting and staffing. As you can see, there's a lot more into it.
Yep.
But those right there, I feel like the best functionality when it comes to recruiting and helping recruiters and staffing. And that's where we've mostly been using it.
That's awesome. Could you share, just so people can see, like what do you have any, kind of final product websites just so people can see the quality of the design that you guys have to offer there?
Absolutely. So that's a good question. So I can go to the front side of this website here, right? So this is a demo that was built for Sarah's Flower Shop. And you click on this eyeball, this will take us to the front side of her website here.
Got it. Okay, cool.
Right. So on here, we have a form that we can fill out. So let's go ahead and fill this out here. I hope no one names hello, by the way. And sure, New Daisy, fantastic. Right? So I filled out that form, and let's actually go ahead and check real quick. This is kind of test live.
Right.
Make sure it works. And there it is. And it popped right up right on the top of the main screen here. And this is the form I just filled out. And it also automatically created a CRM record for me as well with the information I provided. So here's the email, the name, and it also shows in the timeline.
Nice.
Absolutely. And actually, if you want to see another website, our website was also built right on our system, right? It wouldn't be really worth that much for us to have a system and not use it. That would be weird.
Yep.
Oh, I can go to that as well. I mean, I have tons on top of my head, right? Yeah.
Well, I just want to give, I mean, this is fine. It gives people an idea to see that it's, you know, quality design. Obviously, I would imagine it's responsive.
Yep. Absolutely.
I hope today's aid. Yeah, this is awesome, man. So, what is the price point for the tool?
That is a fantastic question, and I was waiting for you to ask that question. So, right here, actually, let's go to the website here, because speaking of that question, this right here, these are just averages based off of what some of the people were using it for, right? Let's say for the CRM email marketing, it starts at $30. The commerce, if you want to start selling products on your website, looking at around $45, right? If you're building out a sales team with a sales pipeline, appointments, you're looking at about $90, right?
Yep.
But on top of that, one great thing that I really, really love is that all of our tools are all a la carte. So it's not the fact that we have packages. You can choose if you want to just start with just the basic CRM, and that's it. That's it.
Right.
And as you start growing, okay, I'm going to add in email marketing. Oh, that's what I'm going to pay. Okay, you know what? I want to add in text messaging as well. So you can actually build as your business grows, as your needs changes, which is one thing that I found is super, super fantastic, because things can change, right?
Yep.
If you're locked into a contract for a year and you only get those certain tools, and I found that some places you're paying $60, $70, $80, maybe some up to hundreds of dollars. You're getting all the tools that you need, but you're getting a lot of tools that you don't need.
Right. Right.
That doesn't sound like a good business expense to me, if you ask me, right? You're paying for something you need trying to grow your business, right?
Yeah, it's really honestly one of the first times I've seen like an a la carte option, you know, where you guys really break down your services or products that much. Usually with different tiered pricing that you guys have standard, but that's pretty cool.
Yes. And one last thing here, if you don't mind me touching base on this here, because again, we love supporting people. And I know we talked about doing the screen share for our support. So you mind if I go ahead and try and test that real quick?
Yeah.
Awesome. Let's see. So the way we do our support is we have so many places that you can get support. One, you can obviously just Google it, right? You can Google a question, which web tools, email marketing. Perfect. And you can see we have AllProWebTools here, email, you can pull it up here. So on top of basically Googling it, we also have our support center here. And the great thing about this, right within the system, whatever page that you're on, you just click on the support button here or here on the left-hand side, and it will bring up related videos specific to that page.
Got it.
Which you can use to reference, or if you want to learn how this tool works, or just learn more about it, you can do that. Now, on top of that, another way that you can get support, besides just those videos, we have our forum here, which is 24/7. You can post anywhere at 3 p.m. in the afternoon, 3 o'clock in the morning. Now, 3 o'clock in the morning, you may not get an immediate response. But we will definitely get to you, which is great. Sometimes you will, though. Sometimes. But don't hold me to that, okay? I'm just to say it just depends if you're still awake or not. So, but you still can post on there, right? So we have our form that you can post on 24/7. You can search other questions. This is one place that I always like to recommend people use first, because you can click on and say a how-to topic, and here are different posts from just different people that are using the software with different questions on how to use, or can you help me doing that as well. Now, on top of that, we have our live support options here. And these live support options is what's going to help you even more. So we have our form, and we have the phone number here. Now, this is basically used for, let's say, if you logged out of your account and you can't get back in, right? Shoot us a text, we're gonna help you out, right there.
Yep.
Now, we also have our premium support options, right? This is where you would get that screen share support or that live chat support. Literally, all you have to do is just press this button here, which we turned it off for the demo, but I'm going to go ahead and start the chat. Let's see if this go ahead. And this is how the chat pops up here, just a little chat bar. So I'm going to let's put my name. Let's see if they notice me. So it pops up here, and you can't see it, but it's popping up on my end here. So I'm just going to, and then it pops up asking for your support code. And then you can get live support through the chat, just however you, just asking questions on anything new.
Yep. That's awesome, man. That is awesome. Good stuff.
Yes,
good stuff.
And that's how we provide our support, because again, we know that time is very important. So we don't want to wait. I know you don't want to wait as a business owner 3 to 5 days to get a ticket back, or maybe a response to an email. That's why we don't offer support through those venues, because it just takes too long. Let's just get you on a live chat or a screen share so we can get you back up and running. If you have any questions, we're there to support you.
As you can see, today's a SaaS platform world. Normally there's no support. So that's definitely a good competitive advantage for you guys.
Absolutely. Absolutely. And then one more thing, actually, we found support. So we also have a YouTube channel. It's kind of weird that I had to type in YouTube to go to YouTube. YouTube.com. But we also have a YouTube channel where all of our videos are. Click on our name here. I'm going to pause this because it might be a little loud. So we have videos on it, find out how things work, just more information. But on top of that, what I did was using social media and YouTube, I created a specific playlist just for recruiters.
Right.
And this includes all of the tools, all the videos of all the tools that we just went over. So you have a specific place just for recruiters that will walk you through on setting up or using, or maybe answering some questions that you may have about the tools.
Right. Smart.
So
good stuff, man.
That is always, yes.
Yeah. So you got fantastic support. We've got the email platform. We've got the text messaging platform. We've got the CRM. We've got the website. You got the a la carte buying options. If you were doing e-commerce, you could set up an e-commerce store here. You guys have got a lot packed into this tool. Thank you. Is there anything else we should know about, man? This is a really powerful tool, and I know this could be beneficial to a lot of people listening to this show here.
Only thing else is, if you have any questions, feel free to Facebook me, text me on that phone number that popped up. Hey, Facebook, anyway, carrier pigeon, it doesn't matter. Just send me whatever questions that you may have, or if you want to just do a one-on-one, I'm always open.
Awesome, brother. Awesome. Well, thank you for joining me today. Thank you for sharing this killer tool. I know this will help somebody that's watching. I know you guys are already helping a lot of people in this industry, and I'm going to imagine you guys are going to continue to develop things as you guys continue to listen to your customers. And the support sounds amazing. The text messaging is obviously very relevant to today's time. You guys have got to dial it in on the email platform side. So those of you that are listening, give Tommie a shout on Facebook or LinkedIn. He'll help answer any questions about AllProWebTools and get you set up and do a demo. He did a demo with me live beyond the one we just did here, and can answer any further calls. So Tommie, thank you for hanging with me today and sharing everything.
Absolutely, Donnie. Thank you so much for having me. It was definitely a pleasure being on here, and you're great. I love your community that you built, and it's fantastic. I love what you're doing.
Awesome, man. Appreciate that feedback, and thanks again for coming here and dropping value and spending some of your time. We definitely appreciate it. We'll see you soon.